this time of incredible change and in this time of like so much awakening and so much happening, do you ever feel like maybe there's more I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not exactly sure what that is? Well, maybe you know and understand that you came to the earth to be a light worker. But what you should be doing is really dependent on which kind of light worker you are. And there are two really big distinctions that will help you to understand which kind of light worker you are and will help you to know what more you can be doing right now at this time to contribute to positivity on the planet in the ways that you wish that you would see it. I'm Michelle Morrison. I'm a medium and an intuitive, and I'm so grateful to have you here today. I absolutely love sharing and speaking about all the ways that we can be contributing to beautiful energy on the planet, connecting with our angels, spirit guides, and loved ones, and moving through this world with a great more a deal of intuition than we typically do. And so, if this is something that you're into, I would love it if you join me, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of this beautiful community. I'm really working on growing it, and I just want you to know how grateful I am to have you here. Let's get into what I'm talking about when I say it really depends on which kind of a light worker you are. Have you ever taken time to think about that and wonder about that? And once you're aware of which kind of light worker you are, it's going to be a really, really changing thing that can help you to move forward confidently and more assuredly in a way that is absolutely authentic to you. So, when we do the long division and we break everything down, there are two main types of light workers on the planet. And one would be more of a whistleblower energy, and the other will be more of a light bringer energy. And both are so important, so needed. But let's figure out which one you are so that you know where you sit at. I want to talk about whistleblower energy first and what it means if you are like that kind of energy and that kind of a light worker. And so the light workers that come forward to be kind of that whistleblower energy, they did not come here to make it comfortable for everybody else. They did absolutely come here to shake things up a little bit. They really love to challenge and interrupt, and they tend to be catalysts for change. And they really have ways of kind of cutting through like the deception and the corruption and any hidden agendas and those kinds of structures, and they tend to bring light to those things for others to witness and see. And so people who are energy disruptors have usually a very high tolerance for uh, conflict. They can absolutely manage conflict, and they don't take everything personally about it. They can stay true and stand tall in their truth, even when others disagree, and it doesn't fuss them a whole bunch. They have they're really wired for an internal truth system. And so, like, they feel physically ill when they see systems that are corrupt or taking advantage of people or things like that, that have a hidden agenda. And they just feel so compelled to speak the truth, even when it's challenging to do so. They're often motivated by justice. They have, like, in their aura, you can literally see what I call, like, the uh, the symbol of justice with the scales on one side of the other. Literally, truth sayers have this in their aura. You can literally see it, that justice is incredibly important to them. And so if that is true of you, you might be a truth sayer. They are they can have the ability to be very emotionally detached in high conflict situations. So people who can, even when under fire, remain calm, remain focused, being able to speak their truth even when being uh, cross-examined by people who may disagree with them. Um, their awakenings in life tend to be kind of abrupt. So, often it is something that happens earlier on in their life to bring this out in them, that they're just like, no, I'm here to help bring forward and work on justice and make sure that things are more fair for people moving forward. And they will even often have a little bit of energy of like rebellion or revolution or very protective energy, actually, because it is important to them to protect those who cannot maybe speak for themselves. So, here are some behavioral traits of a whistleblower light worker. And they are people who can ask the uncomfortable questions. They are people who can challenge power structures. They are able to confront leaders, and they're not afraid to confront leaders, and they're very comfortable revealing what others may not be able to see. And they'll speak up even if it comes at a personal cost to them, because it's just so important that they'll find a way to move through the cost to their person, because they have the ability to withstand the backlash and the controversy, and they actually even feel energized when they take a stand. And so these kinds of souls are so incredibly important in our world. They are absolutely pivotal to these times that we are moving through. And they really aid during times of right now where we are seeing and witnessing collapse of certain systems, lots of truths coming to the surface. And they are the ones who will ensure that humanity doesn't slip into a complacency. So they're the ones who are going to say, hey, don't sleepwalk through this. We need to be aware. We need to have awareness of this. Make sure that you get out and vote, or whatever it is. They are the type of people who are going to be saying that. There is always an opposite side to everything, and there's something that is like, there's like positive things, and then there's challenges that each soul works through. And so a whistleblower soul absolutely needs to make sure that they take care of their nervous system, because otherwise they can become very drained, and it can really be kind of crushing their soul to a degree to be continually speaking about things that are very challenging. And so they really do need to take excellent care of themselves to ensure that they're not being drained and that their voices can still be heard. So that's a little bit about the whistleblower light worker. I now want to speak about the energy signature of the healers and the stabilizers, the ones who are maybe doing things a little bit differently, but their job is just as important as those who are bringing truth forward for us. So these are the beautiful souls who are super hypersensitive. They're incredibly intuitive, very, very tuned in, and they feel energetic shifts like that. Like they just, as soon as an energy shifts, they're like, what just happened? They know immediately that something has shifted and that something isn't quite right. These types of light workers do not enjoy being inset into any sort of conflict whatsoever. They really would avoid it, and not out of fear, but out of energetic wisdom, that they just don't want to be involved in a conflict of any kind. And so their experience when being exposed to hostility or conflict is they don't feel very good at all. They are not actually made for battling, so to speak. It just isn't conducive to their energy on any sense or form. They will have a strong voice calling towards like unity and compassion and love and harmony and those kinds of things, anything that is like togetherness. And they tend to be those who light up a room without really even saying a word. Their very presence in the room can be healing. It can bring stability. It can bring a bit of grounding. It can bring compassion and kindness and gentleness. And they might have an energy that just when they either smile or look at you, you feel like there's something incredibly kind behind those eyes, if that makes sense. And so these energies are often an anchor for another person or a situation. And they don't tend to add to any kind of conflict or chaos. In fact, they will do the opposite and insert peace wherever possible. They will try to bring calm to any kind of situation, and they'll soften people's defenses without even trying or working on it, or other people even knowing that that's what's happening. They tend to create safe spaces for themselves. They want to have like lots of like, you're not going to find them necessarily in great big crowds of people. They're going to tend to maybe be a little bit back from all of the excitement and maybe more of the witnessers of what's going on. And they tend to see more than what they say. So they're here to rebuild with the energy of love, not to deconstruct and tear things down. That's the whistleblower's job. They do a tremendous job of breaking apart old systems that are no longer working, and then the empaths come forward with the energy of let's absolutely rebuild this with a lot of love. They're always ones that will elevate a conversation. And so if a conversation is looking like it's, heading into a darker kind of a place, this kind of an energy will come in and lift it up and bring it back into possibility or a loving framework, anything like that. So how do you tell which one you are and which one you're not? If you're not sure already, let's get a little bit deeper in this. I absolutely know which one I am. I'm thinking that you know what you are too, but let's absolutely make sure that you know. Disruptor energies love protest energy. They love truth telling. They love confronting injustice. They love revealing hidden information. They love exposing corruption. They love calling out harm. They love calling for public accountability, any of those things. Healer energies feel this. They are absolutely focused on emotional safety. They are very in tune with spiritual guidance, their intuition. They love connection. They love holding space. They love leading with compassion. They love elevating consciousness. They love to support individuals and groups, and they love to have like an energy stabilization, and they like to bring an energy stabilization to wherever they are. The disruptor lives in the outer world, where the healer lives in the inner world. And so if we talk about it like this, which one are you? What do you absolutely know that you are, and what does your mission say that you have been called forward to do? I absolutely know that I'm a healer energy. If I get into any kind of disruptive energy, I absolutely just immediately don't feel well. I find it very hard on my system. For a healer energy to go into disruptive energy or that whistleblower energy, it's immediately very draining. It makes a healer energy immediately drain of their energy, and it can literally make them incredibly sick. For a whistleblower energy to be in a healing energy, there'll be something that calls at them constantly, like, I feel like I need to be doing more. I feel like I need to be saying more. It won't quite feel authentic. They'll really constantly feel the need to kind of speak up. And so it doesn't, you can, when can you do both? That's pretty hard, actually, because you'll really feel called one way or the other. That's the way that you were designed. It was designed that way. The world 1,000,000% needs both. And it takes an incredibly brave soul to be a whistleblower, and it takes an incredibly brave soul to be a healer energy. There is not one that is better than another. They are both equally important. And so, whatever your job is, I want to just encourage you to embrace whatever is absolutely true to you. When you are a healer energy, can you feel frustration with how you see the world unfolding? 1,000,000% you can. And it can be very frustrating and sometimes hard. Like, should we be doing more? Should we be saying more? Should we be speaking up in this energy? And the way for a healer energy to do that is to contribute more love, is to absolutely be the one who is contributing a whole lot more love on the planet and sending that energy in. That's absolutely what is required. And so when you feel as a healer energy, like, I feel like I need to be doing more, then it's absolutely the contribution of more love that will help you to relieve that feeling that you have of, we need to act. It's absolutely a beautiful way of service. I want to focus a little bit on the healing energy here, because they're the ones who have, myself included, who have sometimes a harder time through this than the whistleblowers. The whistleblowers often feel very, very on purpose. They feel very, very connected to their mission, and they're really, really like in their zone of genius when they are calling out things that need to be seen or looked at. A healer energy goes through a little bit more of a complex process. And so that's why I want to focus a little bit more on that, because it can be a little bit more challenging for a healer energy. And so what I want to point out, that if you are listening to this, you know now that you are a healer energy for sure. I want to absolutely make clear what you are doing, because it's pretty freaking amazing. You are lifting people into a deeper sense of self-awareness just by being the energy that you are. You are connecting directly with an angelic realm, and you very likely are one who can easily make connections with your angel, spirit guides, and loved ones, and feel a natural affinity to something that is greater outside of yourself, like that greater collective, that universal energy. And you really want to bring more of that kind of universal energy to wherever you are on the planet, or to even other parts of the planet that are in need of it. Your energy has a tendency to awaken others, and because when you have a conversation and you're able to just go a little bit deeper in that conversation with the energy and knowledge that you have, and the ways that you move through the world, you're going to encourage others to do the same. And you can create calm where often there is a feeling of chaos. And so that's a really, really beautiful trait. Your anxiety, you can experience like anxiety, and that's not necessarily a strength. It would be to you a warning signal that you're around conflict. And so let it be one of those things that informs you, so that when you're feeling it, you know that you are in need of an injection of love in this situation, and that adding more love can be an incredibly important process for you to move forward. Your presence alone can shift an emotional state. So, case in point, if you are speaking with somebody who's completely lit, full of anxiety, and your presence just through, maybe just being together or sitting and visiting and chit chatting, and their energy just comes down, this is one of the things that you are so incredibly good at, that you can much more easily regulate yourself, and in by doing so can help others to regulate as well. It's an incredibly beautiful gift. Your influence works through your compassion, through your resonance, through your intuition, through your activities and your choices and the things that you choose to participate in, and through your own energetic alignment. I did speak a little bit about what it's like to have a spiritual awakening if you're a whistleblower, and a whistleblower awakening tends to be more abrupt. On the other side of that is a healer energy awakening, and it tends to be a little bit deeper, longer, and a little bit more challenging. And so it's those dark nights of the soul, it's the loneliness in the awakening, it's the feeling different than other people around you. It's all of these things combined, and it isn't necessarily easy at all. And so it can feel very much like you are kind of on your own, and it's really important for healer energies to seek out other healer energies, because when healer energies come together in community, it creates an impact that is absolutely palpable, and can absolutely like move mountains kind of energy. It's very, very cool. And so, like, the disruptors are going to be the sirens within our community going, there's setting off the alarms, going, pay attention over here. And the healers are going to be the ones who come in and say, let's bring some love into this situation or this circumstance. And so I think, like, if you're a whistleblower, you likely have an area of the world that's really, really important to you. So whether it is around politics or child welfare or animal welfare, or speaking for a part of our population that needs a voice, or for the earth that needs people to listen, if it is environmental activism, whatever it is for you, you know what mission you're on. It's been speaking to you for such a long time. It's inherent to your being. For a healer energy, it might not be quite as clear. And so, what does it look like when a healer energy does their work? Well, it looks like holding a vibration. It looks like sending love. It looks like creating healing experiences for yourself and for others. It looks like elevating consciousness. It looks like being an anchor of calm within chaos. And the actions can come in the forms of teaching, guiding, healing, uplifting, like holding frequency. All of these beautiful things are ways that a healing energy can do their mission and let it unfold in a way that is so purpose driven and feels incredibly meaningful to them. So, for you, now that you have a better idea of what you are, your invitation is to move through the world honoring what has been hardwired into you, what your soul chose. You can have chosen to be a whistleblower in another expression and a healer in this one, or a healer in another expression, but a whistleblower in another one. It's not that our souls stay in and do the exact same thing over and over and over. It is dependent on so many other things and what we feel called to do. What is important is that you just simply lean into what you feel that you are called to do in this particular lifetime. And so if you are feeling called to absolutely use your voice and raise your voice to share with other people information that they might not be aware of, or things that are important for us to hear or understand, then absolutely go to it and do that in ways that are true for you. And if you fall within that healing category, the way that you can contribute right now is by absolutely being that sweet earth angel energy and bringing forward more love on the planet. Because what's harder to see about a healer energy is sometimes results. If a whistleblower brings attention to something, there's often immediate response to that. There's immediate feedback to that. There's immediate, like, people talking about it, raised awareness that is something that we can see and measure and understand. And for a healer energy to silently do this work kind of in the background, so to speak, you don't really see it the same way. And so it can sometimes feel like, are you sure I'm helping? Are you sure that I'm contributing? And Spirit would say to you, oh my gosh, you have no idea how much you're helping. It is helping so, so much, and so, so important for you to do this work and to lean in and to share this love. It makes such a difference. It's absolutely magical. And so, whichever energy you are, thank you so much for being you. And thank you so much for bringing your energy forward. You are so much more important than you know. You're so much more important than you think. If you are a healing energy and you are needing a community, please check out my group community, my group coaching community, where we come together and support one another through this energy. If you are a whistleblower energy, keep speaking your truth. Thank you so much for you. Whatever you are doing on the planet, let your mission speak to you. Those things inside of you that are calling to you, that you feel are incredibly important and valuable, never release and let go of them. Absolutely lean into them. They're coming forward for a reason. They're coming to be acknowledged for a reason. And they may just very well be a huge part of your beautiful mission here on the planet. I thank you so much for taking time to join me today and for tuning in and for listening. And I hope that this helps give you more understanding of your energy and why it is that you are here specifically at this amazing time of shift, change, and transition. It is because you are exactly what is needed. Until next time, only love and light to you.